What's going on, everyone? Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. We're 10 minutes into the European opening. Welcome, everyone. How you guys doing? Type your questions, type your answers, interact with me, and I'll try and help as much as I can. Let's see how the European markets open today and what are the headlines of the day. European stocks are seen opening higher today with after U.S. Stimulus talks last night helped. The U.S. dollar is finally pulling back after new stimulus measures announced by the House of Representatives yesterday, and also an increased number in unemployed Americans also weighs heavily on the strength of the U.S. dollar. U.S. crude finally trades above $40. Is this a breakout or a tease? That is the question. We see the oil breaking the $40 mark for the third or the fourth time this week. Is this the breakout we're all waiting for, or just a tease? That is the question. The markets will show us the answer in a couple of hours. Gold also got a bit of momentum overnight, potentially going back to the 1900 levels. And now I'm sure many traders are waiting for those buy positions to come into place. Right, quick news read. European stocks are set to open higher today, helped by late recovery on Wall Street, but concerns remain about the regional economic recovery as the number of COVID cases continues to rise. At 2:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the DAX futures contract in Germany traded 0.1% higher. The CAC 40 futures in France climbed 0.4%, and the FTSE 100 futures contract in the UK rose 0.4%. On Wall Street overnight, the Dow Jones closed 0.2% higher, and the S&P 500 managed to gain 0.3%. Small gains, but these represented the recovery after weekly unemployment data disappointing. On the other hand, the strongest sales of single-family homes in nearly 14 years in August helped to revive some faith in the recovery of the U.S. economy. Adding to the renewed confidence was talk that Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives were working on an additional $2.2 trillion COVID stimulus package that could be voted on next week, and that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi reiterated she is ready to negotiate on it with the White House. More stimulus is also likely to be needed in Europe after the week's activity data showed the recovery stalled in September as the resurgence of the COVID-19 cases hit the services sector particularly badly. On Thursday, we saw the French Prime Minister warning that the government could be forced to reconfine areas in the number of cases if the number of cases did not improve in the coming weeks. His government had already announced extra restrictive measures on Wednesday, mainly in big cities to contain the disease. So we're still in the red, guys. We're still in the red. Let's see what's going to happen today. If what happens today on the markets is just a fake reversal, fake breakout, just a tiny pullback, or the trend has decided to turn around. Only time will show us. Let's have a quick look at the charts, guys, and see how the markets open today. We see crude oil currently trading at 40.48 on a 1-hour chart. We see it pushing way higher overnight than on the Asian session. We see the RSI and the stochastic in the upper levels, but that doesn't necessarily mean oil will go down. Okay, I believe a fake breakout could have been considered up to the 40.35 level, but once the markets decided to settle above that level, I think we're looking at a potential buy position. We're going to check some trading signals in a minute, guys, and see what is going on. We see a positive opening on the euro today, but still trading just below the 50 moving average at 116.74. Will the euro manage to break higher and target towards the 200 moving average today at 117.49? Only time will tell, guys, and the trading signals that come from the analysts, of course. Okay, the RSI still didn't manage to go all the way up into the overbought session. Neither did the stochastic. So usually when that happens, it indicates a potential downtrend, even though we saw small gains on the euro overnight. Moving on to the pound, guys. This is the exact setup I've been thinking at a few seconds ago when we were looking at the euro, because usually the assets tend to test either the 50 moving average or the 200 moving average. So a movement similar to the one on the pound, okay, might happen with the euro pushing higher towards the 117.40 level. Okay, but again, you need a confirmation from the markets, guys. You can't purely judge it based on past performance or technical analysis. Also, events weight heavily. Okay, so if that's the case, then we will probably see it pushing a bit higher, okay, towards the 128.22 level. And let's see what the euro will do. If it decides to break above the 50 moving average, then probably it will follow the pound, targeting the 200 moving average as a previous resistance level. Let's move on to the USD JPY, the US dollar, which dropped a bit overnight. We see it testing the 200 moving average, or very, very close. And apparently it's bouncing from the 200 moving average with the RSI and the stochastic in the oversold section, pointing upwards, turning around. So we might see further drops for the euro and the pound today, despite the little gains they had overnight. If the dollar decides to push higher, we're looking at the Aussie dollar, guys, which again is looking to break through, break above the 50 moving average, currently trading at 0.7085. If that's the case, it might trade higher to 0.7150 or somewhere in that region. Okay, let's see what the trading signals say, and let's see, more importantly, how the markets will react, what sort of volume we're going to see on the markets today. We're looking at USD Canadian on a 60-minute chart. The USD is currently trading at 133.44 against the Canadian dollar. Again, pointing downwards by the looks of it. And again, if that is the case, very likely we could see it testing the 133 flat, okay, or even a bit lower as it moved below the 50 moving average. And usually that's how technical analysis works. But again, let's wait for a confirmation from the markets. Quick look at the S&P 500, guys, which finally closed the day in green, but still way lower than last week. Anyway, there is still hope for the American indices. There's still hope that this massive sell-off that's been lasting for about a week will eventually stop, and the U.S. stocks and the American indices will get back on track and do what they do best, which is create higher highs. Looking at the Dow Jones, again, a similar movement on the Dow Jones, which again closed the day in green yesterday, but still below the 200 moving average on an hourly chart and below the 50 moving average, which indicates that the downtrend might have not ended yet. Okay, the markets will give us a better hint today after the US opening. We see Apple closing the day in green yesterday. We see Amazon and Nvidia as well closing the day in green. We're looking at the US dollar index futures, guys, which currently are trading at 94.28. Again, just testing the 50 moving average. If they're going to manage to break below the 50 moving average, then probably they're going to target the 93,800 level, okay, or the 94 flat. If you want to be conservative, guys, and you believe in a short position on the US dollar index today, then be careful. Yeah, be cautious, and you can trade it in steps. You don't have to set a take profit all the way down there at the 93.70 mark where the 200 moving average is. Yeah, you can trade it in steps. You can target the 94 level first and then take it from there. Again, if you get an indication that the dollar index will drop today. Moving on to gold, guys, which is trying to recover from what we see here. Gold is trading slightly higher than yesterday at 1877. Will it aim for the 1900 levels today? Only time will tell. It's currently breaking through the 50 moving average. It will take quite a few hours being on a 60-minute chart. We might not see that breakout that we're waiting for today, but it might happen on Monday if the US dollar decides to pull back after the fantastic rally it had the entire week. Right, Brent oil futures again. Brent oil moved on top of the 200 moving average and on top of the 50. We see the 50 and the 200 almost forming a gold cross, which usually is a strong indication for long positions. So the question is, will we see Brent oil futures trading higher today and aiming for the 42.50 level, which was the previous high, or potentially the 43 level? Only time will tell, and the trading signals will definitely help us in the next couple of minutes. Moving on. We're looking at silver, which is currently trading at 23.27 again, gaining a bit yesterday afternoon and on the Asian session. Again, it's trying to break above. It's settling above the 50 moving average, and again, that usually indicates a potential uptrend. If that's the case, then very likely we're going to see silver futures trading higher today, aiming for the 24. Let's say around number 24,500 mark. Okay, looking at the previous highs. And we take it from there. If it decides to test the 200 moving average and then move upwards, towards the 25,500 level, then that is your confirmation that silver futures will most probably go back to their previous values at 27, 26, 27, which they had last week. Right, moving on to your favorite, guys, which is the Bitcoin. Is currently trading at $10,709, recovering the losses it had in the last 2 days. Okay, yesterday Bitcoin traded as low as 10,261, and we see it gaining no less than $500 overnight, guys. I keep saying this every time I get the chance. Cryptocurrencies, guys, very, very careful when you trade them. They could bring tremendous profits, and they have the ability of jumping up and down $500 to $1,000 to $2,000 in only a few hours or a couple of days. There's no other asset class that has this ability. Yeah, for example, oil is moving on average about $2 per day. Gold can move up to $20, $30, $40 per day, but none of these assets have the ability of jumping up and down $500 to $1,000 within a few hours. So if you're on the good side of the trade when you're trading cryptocurrencies, guys, you can make a killing. But if you're on the wrong side of the trade, you need a lot of flexibility in your trading account. So we see Bitcoin settling above the 200 moving average, as I said, and pushing higher. Usually when you're trading technical analysis, guys, this is how it works. Yeah, you see the price of assets pushing back towards one of the moving averages. If you're working with 3 or 4 moving averages, then even better. Okay, and as it manages to break through the moving averages higher and higher, they will turn around, and you will target usually the higher moving average, okay, as your take profit level. Now, obviously, this is not a secret recipe to success. Okay, the markets are unpredictable and could turn around anytime with any news coming from across the pond. Now, let's have a quick look at the economic calendar. Very, very quiet day on the markets. We only have in the afternoon the usual positions, end of the week positions with U.S. Baker Hughes oil recount. Hey, we're going to have FOMC member Williams speaking at 4 o'clock GMT +3. But again, no other important announcements in the economic calendar today. We see one core durable goods orders will be announced at 3:30 GMT +3. Okay, but this is it, basically fairly quiet day on the US front. Well, no doubt about it. Since Tuesday, we had 3 days on fire with Jerome Powell testifying in front of the committee, as well as other members of his cabinet. Right, trading signals today, guys. Let's have a quick look. We see strong buy positions on the euro versus the US dollar, and also on the pound. Okay, but the daily still remains a strong sell. So very careful if you're trading, guys. We might only be looking at strong buy positions in a downtrend. So that translates into a correction of the markets. Okay, what I'm talking about, let's have a quick look at the euro. Okay, so when you're in a downtrend, okay, the euro might push higher towards the 200 moving average, and then it might continue the downtrend. Okay, so if you're buying the correction, guys, very, very careful. Do understand that it might only be a correction, and the downtrend still remains. But very interesting, strong buy positions on the European currencies. We see a strong sell on the US dollar pairs. Yeah, we're looking at USD JPY, USD CHF, USD Canadian again. So based on this, guys, basically European currencies are meant to strengthen today, judging by these trading signals. And the US dollar is meant to pull back a bit after the fantastic rally that it had this week. So whatever has the US dollar in the left-hand side, guys, this is the message basically that we get from the trading signals. Whatever has the US dollar as the base is good to sell. Short term, whatever has the US dollar in the right-hand side as the quote currency is good to buy. Yeah, like Euro USD, GBP USD. Right, quick look at commodities, guys. Let's see how investing.com sees commodities today. Okay, strong buy on gold, strong buy on silver, strong buy on copper, and crude oil, WTI, and Brent oil again are stuck with a strong buy. We see a bit of green on the charts. Finally, after a very red week. Okay, so basically, long story short, guys, the US dollar, judging by these signals, is meant to pull back a bit versus the European currencies. The European currencies are meant to strengthen a bit, at least for the next hour or couple of hours. Gold, silver, and copper are also meant to strengthen along with crude oil and Brent oil. Okay, now let's see if it's just a pullback or the markets will end the downtrend that they had for 1 week. Right, if you like what you see, guys, remember to like, share, subscribe everywhere you come across these webinars and support us in delivering more great content. Remember to join Forexy Facebook group, guys, and get trading signals with an accuracy of up to 75%. Okay, all you have to do is go on their website on forexy.com and customer support will help you from there. Okay, join me at 4:30, guys, and see what the US markets have to say and how the European markets perform today. Until then, remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money.